Hello, MTA runners. This is Jennifer Giles again. Today we're going to talk about recovery nutrition. So recovery nutrition is extremely important. In fact, I think it's so much more important than any of us realize. So I thought it was important to take some time and go through the ins and outs of how to do recovery properly. Because there are good ways and bad ways and better ways to do recovery, and it will make or break you as a runner. Doing recovery properly will make sure that you realize your potential as a runner, and doing recovery improperly will cause you to take 2 steps backwards instead of 2 steps forward. So you're putting all this work into training and you won't be reaping the benefits as much as if you were really paying attention and had the knowledge of how to perform recovery nutrition. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you and take you through some information that will be really helpful. Let me introduce myself real quick. Jennifer Giles. I am an MTA running coach. For those of you that don't know me yet, I'm also a sports dietitian. I am board certified in sports dietetics. So not only do I have a science background, but I'm also a runner, obviously. So I have kind of a real world experience background to this also. I've been running for over 20 years. And I can help you out in terms of the best way to recover. Okay, so recovery starts with protein. It says it right here, but it starts immediately after your run, whether it's a short run, long run, medium run, fast run, hill workout, whatever kind of run it is, recovery starts immediately with the last step. So, and it also starts with protein. So I think in the olden days, we used to think carbs, because we're depleting all this glycogen, and that is definitely true. So I'm not going to say that's not true. But what we really want to do in order to gain muscle mass and improve body composition and decrease muscle soreness after a run is prioritize protein, because it has been found that that is the #1 priority when it comes to recovery. So what is protein? I have so many people ask me this question. They're not really even sure what protein is. It's just this term that's thrown around, and they think it might be meat, but it actually is a whole source of food. Protein is found in a whole variety of foods. Obviously, yes, meat is you'll find the highest amount of protein in meat. So whether it be chicken, beef, pork, game, fowl, any kind of meat is going to contain a high portion of protein. So absolutely, there's a good way to get it. The benefit to eating meat for those meat eaters out there is you're going to consume all the amino acids that you need. And it's a complete protein, and it'll start to repair quicker. You absorb it and assimilate it a little bit faster. The same goes for fish and shellfish. They're also complete proteins, and they help with protein resynthesis fairly quickly. Now, for those vegetarians out there, or even vegans, there are vegetable-based sources of protein that are just as effective for recovery. They may take a little bit more time to recover, and they may not be as complete. We may need to combine some of these foods to maximize recovery, but it's completely possible to do with vegetarian sources of protein. Legumes are a great source of protein. The great thing about legumes, and what I love about them, is their protein and their carbohydrates in one food. So it's one-stop shopping. You can replace your glycogen stores and replace your protein, the protein muscle mass that's been used during a run, with one food, and legumes will do that. I tend to recommend combining legumes, meaning beans and nuts and seeds, with another form of an incomplete protein to make it a complete protein. I think you've probably heard this before, but rice and beans is one of those dishes that satisfies both carbohydrate, protein, and every amino acid that you need. Dairy is also another source of protein and another source of carbohydrates. So again, it's one-stop shopping. You eat one food. So say you put milk in a recovery shake, or you have a Greek yogurt, that's actually protein and carbohydrate together. So it's one easy recovery snack, and it has both nutrients, which is great. And then you can also get protein in supplements. So protein powder, obviously the best supplement to use when it comes to synthetic products that you're going to use. I want to take a couple seconds here to just specify that if you're going to use a protein powder, it really needs to be 100% whey protein isolate. that is the kind of protein powder that you want to look for. You want to make sure that you look for a brand that does not have a gazillion other synthetic vitamins and minerals added to it. You want to make sure you look for a protein powder that doesn't have artificial sweeteners or colorings in it. And you just want to make sure that it's protein isolate, not protein concentrate, and not a combination. That is what, it's going to be a little more expensive, but it's what your body's going to be able to use the best. And the other products, and there's so many out there, but it's an unregulated world right now in supplements. So you just have to have the knowledge to look for the right thing. So look for those ingredients and you'll be good to go. It's a great, great supplement to use if you know which one to use. Okay, so as far as recovery goes, the struggle is really real because we've all been there. When you finish a run, whether it's a speed run, a hill workout, or a long run, you're training for a marathon, and you just feel awful afterwards. Now, as runners, we run because it makes us feel good. It actually makes us feel good during our run. It makes us feel good after our run. It makes us feel good for the rest of the day when we run. It creates a little bit of energy. We feel awesome that we achieved it, but we also physically feel awesome because of what we did. But when you don't recover properly, you feel it, and you feel it big time. And we feel lethargic, and we feel tired, and we can feel lightheaded, and we could feel sore, and you could feel like I can't really stand up for too long. Any of those symptoms are a reflection of the fact that you didn't recover properly. You worked really, really hard, and you didn't give your body the recovery options it needs to repair itself from that hard work, and then we feel awful. So this is because exercise induces muscle damage. It just does. Every time we go out for a run, there are microscopic tears in your muscles that occur, and that sounds bad, but it's actually really good because after the run, your body goes ahead and it repairs those tears and it makes you stronger with every single run. And that's what training is all about. It breaks you down before it builds you back up. There's also a pretty serious depletion of glycogen that goes on during runs, especially longer runs. And if we don't repair that, then our body is left with low glycogen stores and low blood glucose, which can lead to some of those symptoms, especially feeling tired and groggy and lethargic. And it also decreases our cortisol response when we don't recover properly. Cortisol is released when we're exercising, and if that stays high for too long, that can make our bodies feel really tired. So what do we do? And the first thing I want you to be aware of when you're thinking about recovery is timing. Timing is the absolute key. There's a couple keys, but timing is the first official key that I want you to wrap your brains around, because we need to get the timing of this right in order to maximize recovery. So when we're running, we go out for a run, we have a lot of blood flow going on. We know that because we can feel our heart rate. We start our heart rate on our GPS watches. It's higher than it is when we're just sitting down working or lying in bed sleeping. Right? So there's a lot of blood flow going to our entire body. When we stop, the second we stop our run, the blood flow is still high, but every minute or two, it actually decreases until our blood flow, not only our heart rate, but our blood flow has decreased. And research says it takes about 30 minutes. So the recommendations in the science world, in the sports science world, is to intake a recovery snack or meal within 30 minutes. Personally, I find better results if you intake that recovery snack within 15 minutes. If there's more blood flowing, it just makes sense. If there's more blood flowing to your muscles and you eat a snack that's going to enhance your recovery, your blood is going to take those nutrients to the muscles faster if there's more blood flowing to the muscles than it is if you wait an hour when your blood is not flowing as quickly or as efficiently anymore. It has slowed down. So the delivery of nutrients is going to happen within that 15-minute window when your blood flow is still pretty high. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And this is why I absolutely recommend that if you're not running from your home, that you pack a recovery snack just as you would pack your sneakers. So you would never go and meet a friend for a run downtown if you didn't have your sneakers, right? And if you did, you couldn't do your run, really, unless you're a barefoot runner. But in the winter, that would be hard. Anyway, you get where I'm going. I want you to think of your recovery snack as a piece of equipment, because it is. It's your piece of equipment that helps you recover from the run today and helps you prepare for your run tomorrow. So it's extremely important that you pack a recovery snack with you. If you don't have one with you, there's places that you can get one along the way. Just like you could pick up a pair of shoes at a running store along the way if you forgot those, you also need to pick up a convenient recovery snack. It's just something you have to get in the habit of, and you will feel better and perform better if you do, so there's your motivation to keep going. But I also always want you to have it there. If you are running from your home or from your office, you can always have the recovery snack available in your home or office so that you don't have to think about it so much. You can stock that ahead of time. Okay, so bottom line, remember, timing is key, and make sure that you're not just running, and then going back to work or going back to home or going wherever without intaking that recovery snack. It can't be an hour after. It has to be within 15 minutes. On top of timing, quantity counts too. So how much protein, I get this question a lot, how much protein should I be having, or how many carbohydrate grams should I be having after a run of different mileages? And a very, very general recommendation is 4-to-1 ratio or less. Now, this is personal too, and everybody's a little bit different. And I would say that if you're doing long runs, you're training for a marathon, you're doing a lot of, or an ultra, and you're doing a lot of distance, 4-to-1 ratio is the way to go. If you're in the off season, or maybe you're just training for 5K or 10K, and your distance training is a little bit, your weekly mileage is a little bit lower, then I would say 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 is a little bit better. So your nutrition always has to reflect your training and your actual goal that you're training for. So I want you to keep that in mind. But this is an example, is really what you do is you take your weight, take your body weight in pounds, and you divide it by 2. And that's your quantity of carbohydrate in grams. Then you take that number, your carbohydrate gram requirement, and you divide that by 4. And there's your protein quantity. That's to calculate a 4-to-1 ratio. So an example, really easy to do, is if you're a 140-pound runner and you divide that by 2, it's 70 grams of carbohydrate. You divide that by 4, it's roughly 17.5 grams of protein. And so you would have to find a snack or a meal that falls under that category. And this is really for a moderate to long run. If you're doing a shorter run, you really don't have to go that high in protein. Your body can only process certain amount at a time, and really 20 to 25 grams is that magic number. So if you find a protein drink that's 55 grams of protein, and trust me, there are a lot of them out there, you're not going to absorb all that protein. You're going to absorb about 20 to 25 grams. The rest you're going to excrete out of your body, and it's kind of going to be a waste of money. So I wouldn't purchase any protein drinks, shakes, products, powders that are going to exceed that 20 to 25 amount. You don't need it. Your body can't use it. It's better to have a lower amount and consume it throughout the day than a big amount at one time and you're not going to use it. Another example, same math, is a 180-pound runner. Divide that by 2, it's 90 grams of carbohydrate. Divide 90 grams of carbohydrate by 4, and you get 22.5 grams of protein. Nothing that you consume needs to be perfect, but again, it's around that 20 to 25 mark. So that would be ideal for you to recover from a moderate to long run. So carbohydrate and fat. So we talked a lot about protein, and I want that to be your priority, of course. But along with that protein, you can't just eat a chicken bone after your run. You also need to replenish your carbohydrate stores that were burned through, your glycogen stores that you burned through, and you also need to add a little bit of fat. And carbohydrate clearly is important because you burn through glycogen stores, and you may be left with low blood sugar, and the way to boost that up pretty quickly is carbohydrates. Now, the correct form of carbohydrates that you want to consume is complex carbohydrates, because complex carbohydrates will also include some vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and fiber that you won't get with simple carbohydrates. So really what I mean here is grains, fruits, vegetables, dairy, the good kinds of carbs, the carbohydrates that you're going to find in nature naturally. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, butternut squash, beans, legumes. Those are really important forms of carbohydrates to include in your diet, both as recovery for sure, but also throughout the day. So you want to keep your glycogen stores high so that you can run long again next week. You can do your speed run tomorrow. You want to recover from today so that you can prepare for those runs. You also want to keep your blood sugar level throughout the day so that you can do other things like work and take care of a family and all those kind of things. Fats are crucial for recovery as well, because just like we're having microscopic tears in our muscles when we're running, we're also creating some inflammation. And the longer you run, that impacts against the ground, we're really creating a lot of inflammation in our joints throughout our entire body. And good fats, monounsaturated fats, are going to decrease that inflammation. So we're going to have some inflammation occur, and then it's through diet that we decrease that inflammation, and that's going to happen with fats. So we're going to talk more about what that entails, but carbohydrates, good carbohydrates to combine with fats, good snacks after runs would be this peanut butter and banana sandwich. So you have whole grains, which is your carbohydrate, another carbohydrate, which is bananas. Bananas are also really high in potassium, which will help your hydration, which we'll talk about in a minute. And you have your peanut butter, which is protein and good fat. So that's kind of a perfect recovery snack right there. It also tastes really good. A protein shake is another way to go because you can also combine all of these good ingredients in there. Protein, you can use a whey protein, 100% whey protein isolate. You can use milk, which is dairy, so now you're getting carbohydrate. You can throw in some avocado, which will increase your fat. You can also throw in some olive oil if you don't like the green color in your smoothies. And you can throw in some fruits and vegetables that'll increase that nutrient content in a smoothie. So smoothies are a great way to go for a recovery snack because you can really combine all these things into it. Tastes good, it's satisfying, and it's very effective for recovery. Like I said, convenience is a huge part of this. So picking up a Greek yogurt along the way on your way home from a run or having that in your gym bag is super easy. It has about 18 to 20 grams of protein, has good carbs, and that's a really effective way to go for it too, as is a protein bar. So Cliff is a company that has organic ingredients and about 20 grams of protein per bar. So that's another really convenient thing, grab and go kind of recovery snack. If you're running from your home or even from a friend's home and it's, say, mealtime, you could have chicken and pasta. It could be even leftover chicken and pasta from the night before, salmon and rice. Any combination of carbohydrate, fat, and protein that you're going to get together is going to be a really effective recovery snack. Vegetarian chili is another favorite of mine to do, especially in these winter months. I live on the East Coast, so vegetarian chili where you're doing beans and you're doing a tomato sauce base, and you can throw in edamame to increase the protein. And if you are a meat eater, you can obviously put in some chopped turkey meat or some chopped beef, and you can get a very well-rounded source of protein, carbohydrate, and fat if you do that way also. Okay, so fluids. I'm not going to talk a lot about fluids today. I have another video that I have posted that you can take a look at. In fact, I highly recommend you take a look at it because hydration is super, super important, and it's overlaps with recovery. So I didn't want to double up on my information, so I suggest you check that video out. But just really quick, don't forget about it. It's part of recovery. So not only are we in need of excess protein and carbohydrate and fat to replenish what we burn through during our run, but we have also sweat a lot. So we've lost a lot of fluids when we run, especially for endurance running. So what I want to kind of hammer home to you is I want you to not overlook it. It actually, more often than not, is a cause of fatigue and even soreness, post-run soreness, and you don't want to forget about doing it. In fact, you really want to be on top of your game here and make sure you're hydrating before, during, and after. So it's not just a recovery tool. It's something you have to do all throughout the day and all throughout around when you're running in order to really run effectively. And it's a game changer as far as pace and speed and endurance. So go check out that video and become more familiar with how to hydrate yourself for different runs in different temperatures, and don't forget about it. So fats. I actually talked a little bit about fats, but I'm going to delve more into it. So fats, the most important part about consuming fat during a recovery part of your run is that it's going to control inflammation. It also, on top of that, it also really lubricates your joints. So as we're running really long distances and we're sweating a lot and we're becoming dehydrated chronically, especially if we're not taking care of our hydration, our joints can become a little bit stiff and sore. And fats are a huge component of that. So if you're taking in enough fat during the day, it's going to help lubricate those joints, in addition to helping a full body anti-inflammatory process. So fats can be found in many different foods, and you just want to make sure you're taking in the good fats versus the bad fats. And the good fats are, again, I said monounsaturated fat, but these are the foods that define good fats. Avocados are a great one. They're super easy. They're available all year long. You can make them into many different things. You can chop them up and put them on a salad. You can eat them plain, just as is. Scoop them with a spoon, a little sea salt on top. You can put them in a smoothie. You can make guacamole. You can put them on your fajitas and tacos on Taco Tuesday. But they're a very versatile food, and they're super high in monounsaturated fats. And also high in potassium, which is going to help your hydration. So they're an excellent food to add into your diet. Salmon is a great one. High in monounsaturated fat, great source of protein. So again, you're killing two birds with one stone. Pretty versatile as far as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could have smoked salmon for breakfast. You could have salmon on top of a salad for lunch, and you can have grilled salmon with veggies and brown rice for dinner. Not all in one day, of course. I guess you could, but that may be overdoing it. But spread it out. It could be used at any time during any meal. Olive oil, flaxseed oil, avocado oil, all of the monounsaturated oils are great to use for salad dressing or pan searing foods while you're cooking dinner, sauteing broccoli, anything like that. Spraying it on a salad instead of creamy, heavy salad dressings is a great way to use these oils, and they're really healthful for your whole body, but they're also really helpful for your run performance. So keep those in the house at all times. Peanut butter, specifically natural peanut butter. So we want to make sure that we're getting natural peanut butter that doesn't contain added sugars and hydrogenated fats. Now, regular peanut butter that has these were made so that it didn't separate. The oils and the nut part of the butter separate when you get natural. They don't separate when it's hydrogenated. Super easy problem to fix. If you get natural peanut butter, as soon as you buy it, you stir it up, you put the cap back on, you store it over, upside down in your refrigerator, and then it doesn't separate again. So it's messy the first time, never messy again, not a big deal. In fact, it tastes better. You can go to some health food stores or even Whole Foods right now and make your own peanut butter. You put peanuts in the machine, there's a little plastic cup, and you press the lever and you're making your own natural peanut butter. Natural peanut butter is huge because now it's just peanuts. Peanuts and maybe salt, if you like salted peanut butter, should be the only ingredients in your peanut butter. There should be nothing else in there. No added oils, no added sugars, or anything else. Okay, there's also many other nut butters that are available right now. So almond butter, cashew butter, sunflower seed butter, and all are equally as good depending on what taste you like. So choose one that you like, use it often, and use it as part of your recovery. And it doesn't get easier than grabbing a handful of almonds or cashews or walnuts. So if you like that, you're getting protein and healthy fats in one-stop shopping. Again, great recovery food. You could even make a homemade trail mix by adding a couple different nuts that you like, pistachios and almonds perhaps, and a couple different dried fruits, dried cherries, dried blueberries, and then you have a fancy little trail mix that you can take, put in a little baggie, throw it in your gym bag, go on your run. There's your recovery snack right there, and you're done. Protein, fat, and carbohydrate all in one. So you can make this easier than you think. Okay, so basically I went through everything that we needed to go through to really focus on your recovery. And I hope that I hammered home to you today the importance of prioritizing recovery and making sure that it is a part of your run, just like it would be a part of your run to shower. Let's say if you come home from a run, you're all sweaty, you're gross, you throw your clothes in the washing machine, you hop in the shower. But before you do all that, because that would take definitely 15 minutes, maybe longer if you're me, because I like long showers. But throw your clothes in the washing machine, eat your recovery snack, then get in the shower, and then you'll be so grateful that you watched this presentation, because that is how important it is, and you will guaranteed become a better runner. All right, thanks so much, guys, for watching. I'm going to shut off my share. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is on the MTA website. And happy running. Bye-bye.